Hello viewers, compliments of the season and happy new year. It has been snowing heavily in my area this morning. How is it in your area? I'm really enjoying it because it's been very long. I saw snow massively like this. How is it? Are you enjoying yours too? Welcome to Life on Point. My name is Nurse Ada. If you're here with me today, I want to assure you it's not by accident. This space is created for moments like this. Moments when life feels overwhelming, so noisy, and sometimes a little bit off. This channel, Life on Point, is all about health, both mental and physical health, well-being, mindset, and your life structure. So if you're here with me at this moment, wherever you are listening from, is it from your house, from your workplace, from your safe space, or from your comfort zone? Can we all take a deep breath together? This space is not for perfection. It is not for pressure. It is just for clarity and gentle growth. So can we all grow together? Today we are going to reset. It's just for reset today. We are going to reset your mind. We are going to reset your body. And we are going to reset how you live your life. Intentional living. That is all we are going to do today. Please, for us to gain a lot and enough from this section, can we try to avoid some distractions? Anyway, you are going to make yourself less distracted to gain a lot from this session. Please, can we facilitate that? Can we also keep a notebook close to us? And can we participate when we say participate? Thank you. If at this point you're already enjoying this channel, can you hit the subscribe button, please? All right, as we proceed, I already mentioned today is for reset. For us to engage well in this comprehensive reset, we are going to treat them under 4 modules. The first module is mental clarity. The second one is emotional well-being. The third, physical health. And the last but not the least, your life structure. Yes, you remember we mentioned that we are going to do it comprehensively, and these modules all fall under the mechanics of life. So what do we understand by the mechanics of life? Mechanics of life simply means the way our mind processes stress, the way our body manages that same stress, and the way our life structure either supports or sabotages our goals. That is exactly what we mean by the mechanics of life. And for us to understand them, we've already divided them into 4 modules. Can we move on with mental clarity? What is mental clarity? Mental clarity simply means the ability to manage the internal noise. Yes, still on mental clarity. So we already said that mental clarity simply means our ability to manage the internal noise. What is internal noise? Internal noise simply means when we have a lot of things going on in our mind at the same time. So for us to really understand what we actually mean by mental clarity, we need to talk about overthinking. What is overthinking? Overthinking is a negative, unproductive cycling of thoughts in our mind, and this usually ends in a closed loop. What usually happens during overthinking? The mind, the brain, is trying to solve problems which do not exist. You see, the mind is thinking and overthinking round and round and round, trying to solve problems which it has perceived, anticipatory problems which have not happened already, because it has received signal from the alarm system of the brain known as amygdala. The amygdala has signaled the brain that yes, there is going to be a problem, there is going to be a challenge. So the brain starts over functioning. It starts working. It starts trying to solve this problem even before it happens. So this leads to anxiety. What next does the brain do? It is either trying to solve these problems which are inexistent yet, or trying to change things which cannot be changed, leading to rumination. So the brain is either creating anxiety or creating rumination. Both anxiety and rumination emanate from overthinking. So the brain is actually doing its work. Why does the brain overthink? The brain overthinks because the brain is wired for survival. So it is doing the normal work it is wired to do. It is trying to make human beings, you and I, survive. It is trying to detect the threat, block the threat, and stop us from being destroyed. Unfortunately, most times, if you are not able to keep this under control, it doesn't work in our favor. Sometimes it still works in our favor because it serves as a warning sign, depending on how we are able to keep this overthinking under control. Now, when this brain continues overthinking, because a signal has been sent to it by amygdala, the alarm system of the brain, the brain actually thinks that by worrying, by overthinking, it is solving that problem. You see what I mean? So the brain is just doing its work. It is not trying to cause any harm. It is just trying to safeguard the human person. But unfortunately, most of us, we don't understand that we need to place control over the activities of the brain. Because if we allow the brain to go on and on overthinking, thinking so many things at the same time, trying to solve inexistent problem, ruminating, it is actually going to cause problem for us. Imagine how it's going to be for us if we spend the entire day mental looping, thinking about things that have not happened already, trying to change things which cannot be changed. We did not place any control over them. We just allow them to happen. What do you think is going to happen to us? We are going to dwindle into indecision fatigue. We are so tired. The mind is tired. The brain is tired. You won't even be able to take any decision. That is exactly what we call indecision fatigue. Have you wondered why sometimes when you return home from work after a long day of mental looping, thinking so much about nothing and everything, and then you want to serve yourself some dinner, you find out that, oh, you don't even know what to eat. You can't even think of what to eat. That is indecision fatigue, because we've spent the entire day allowing our brain to mental loop, to overthink. You see what I mean? So we need to place the brain under control when it is doing its normal job, the survival strategy. Yeah, time for exercise now. Yeah. So to drive home our point, let's see if we actually understand what we've been talking about regarding mental clarity. Now, I know we have our notes, our pens. Can we pick them up and list everything going on in our minds? As we speak, I know a lot of things are going on in your minds. A lot of things are also going on in my mind. So can we try to make a list of them? Please do not filter anything. From I want to buy milk after this session to that awkward thinking I engaged in last year or last 2 years. Can we not filter anything? Can we list them all down? I will give you some few minutes, about 2 minutes, to let you do this so we can understand really that these things are practical life experiences. All right, we are back again. I understand. I believe that everyone have got their own list. I believe no one will have less than 3 points on their list. Oh yeah, that is how the human mind works. It is normal. It is how it is programmed. It is how it is wired. Ours is now to place it under control. Have you not wondered that if we continue thinking this way, we are not going to survive it at all? We are never going to survive it. To further explain this, we are going to talk about focus and attention. What is focus? Simply means the ability to keep distractions away while performing a particular task. What is attention residue? Attention residue simply happens when we are unable to maintain focus. When we think and do a lot of things at the same time, it causes attention residue, and it reduces productivity, it reduces clarity, and it makes us, confused. So simply put, focus cannot be achieved when attention residue occurs. And without focus, we cannot achieve mental clarity. So if we continue thinking about the same things at the same time, we have several tasks to perform at the same time, maybe 3 tasks, that's A, B, and C. And then we jump from task to task without finishing A, we have already dwindled into B. This creates a lot of confusion in the brain, in the mind, because the brain needs signals to perform each function. But now we have this task A, we are already on task A, and And before the end of task A, we've jumped into task B without closure, without concluding task A. So now when we jump into task B, the brain is still battling, trying to understand the signals coming. Oh, is this signal telling me to finish task A, or the signal is telling me to abandon task A and commence with task B? So you have created a state of confusion, which is attention residue, and you will not be able to actually finish both the task A and the task B well, because they are not clear-cut signals to the brain. And because of this, you cannot focus well, because task A was incomplete and now task B has been commenced. So there is no focus and you can never achieve mental clarity with this. This being said, now we will all understand that, in summary, the brain does not multitask. Take it or leave it. We are always talking about multitasking. The employers will ask you, do you multitask, blah, 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 and we say yes. But in actual sense, the brain does not multitask. The brain monotasks, but has the ability of switching between tasks. The brain can switch from task A to task B, then to task C. When the brain is done with task A, it goes to task B and then to task C. That is what the brain is able to do. The brain does not multitask. So for us to actually maintain mental clarity, we have to learn the act of monotasking. What then is monotasking? Monotasking means performing a simple task at a time, one after the other. And what is time blocking? Time blocking simply means timing our tasks. How does it happen? So first of all, we try to prioritize our tasks according to their importance and according to how urgent they appear to be. Then we are going to write these tasks down one after the other, possibly because mental clarity likes external thoughts, likes externalizing its thoughts. Writing down is externalizing your thoughts. So what else are we going to do? We are going to set our timer. If supposing a task requires 10 minutes to be completed, then we are going to set our timer at 12 minutes. And no matter what happens, even if we complete this task at 9 minutes, we are going to allow this timer to pause before we move on to the next task. This ensures closure, completion, and then mental clarity. It keeps you focused. It makes you maximally perform your tasks, and then it makes it really, really good and of high performance. So that is what we really mean by time blocking. Switching our tasks in a timely manner when we use a timer to ensure that we finish one task before we proceed to the other. What have we learned? We have learned in this session regarding mental clarity that mental clarity requires externalizing thoughts. We need to write things down. We need to write our tasks down. We need to put them in a serial form that denotes either urgency or importance to us. We also emphasize on being focused. We can never achieve mental clarity without being focused. And for us to be focused, we need to ensure that attention residue never occurs due to confusion between performing different tasks at the same time. Thank you very much. We are going to move on to emotional wellness, which is the next module. But before we do that, are you enjoying this session really? Do you mind hitting the subscribe button for us to keep us here for a long time? We also accept topics that you want us to describe or discuss. If you want us to discuss any topic, you are free to drop in the comment section. Can you also drop your question? The comment section is open. It is an engagement session. We all can contribute. We all can question. We all can tell us what we want us to do and how we want us to move. Thank you very much for being here with us. We move on to emotional wellness.